We're joined now by senior quarterback Zac Dickey. Zac will take questions for the group. If you'll please state your name and affiliation. The floor is open now.
Zac, Eddie Lomchek with KKOW Radio. I know you guys are undefeated and highly ranked and all that. You have to look at the game within the game. How do you feel about this season and where you are as a team right now?
Well, of course, you can't be too disappointed with being 7-0, but there's definitely some things that we can get better at, and that we need to continue to get better at to make to become as good as we want to be. You know, to make the run in the playoffs like we want to make, and so you can't really. It's hard. I think it's human nature to kind of strategize as to how the season's going to progress. But you know, you can't ever overlook anyone. You can't ever not take a game, you know, seriously. You know, and that was a hard lesson learned when we went to Truman earlier in the year. And so we have to make sure that we don't, you know, pull a mishap like that, because we can't always get bailed out in a situation that we, you know, like we did at Truman. And so we have to take every game seriously, and then, you know, that'll get us to our goal eventually.
When you talk about needing to do things better, what stands out about the offense? Is there anything that you definitely need to feel you need to keep working on?
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, even if we put up 60 points and, you know, on Saturday, and you know, there's always going to be something to work on. You know, there's something we can do better at. But something that stands out in my mind is coming to play both halves and starting out early. You know, starting out early and on fire, and that's what we did at Fort Hays, which I was really pleased to see, and I hope that we can continue to do that on a regular basis from here on out. Start off fast and get some points on the board early, and then keep putting it on them as best we can.
People will talk about the second half of Northwest and the passing game there. How do you feel with where you are with your passing game to complement that run game?
You know, there's been some good games that we've demonstrated that we've been able to throw the ball better than we have in past years, and so that's you know, that's something that, again, that we're pleased about. And you know, there's going to be days where, you know, that's not clicking as well as it did in the second half in Northwest, and there's going to be days that our running game wasn't clicking as good as it did at Fort Hays, and so we really do have to complement each other, like you said, and make sure that any time one is doing, you know, the running game is doing better than the passing game, that we remain as balanced as possible to try and keep the defense on their heels.
What's it like having a weapon like, or weapons like John Brown and Andrew Castaneda, newcomers? Talk about their development.
Heck, you can see it every day that they're just more comfortable and more comfortable, and game time rolls around. And you know, the first game when we went to Western, John Brown and Andrew and all of us, you know, were definitely very nervous. But you could tell that they were, you know, getting ready to walk into the unknown. You know, they weren't sure at all as to what to expect and all that stuff. And now, you know, they're very smart people and very good players, obviously. But they've really came along as wide receivers and as members of this team, and of course they're accepted by everybody and very well liked. And so whenever they step on the field, though, they know what to expect more now than they ever did early on. And it's definitely nice to have some vertical threats and some good receivers out there, like you know, John Thomas also is having a great year, and we get Fisher back and healthy, and you know, those will just be, our receiving core is really deep. You know, it's nice.
Zach, Ryan Atkinson with a drop on the lobe. What's the mentality of the team been like? What's the atmosphere been? In the last 2 weeks, it's been a lot of talk of just taking care of the task at hand, and now this string of, you know, pretty big games is here. So what's it been like this week?
You know, I've told people before that you know, if we were to lose a game, if we were 6-1 or you know, 5-2 at this point, we wouldn't have as much to play for. I think now we have so much more to lose now, and so not only has our confidence gotten bigger, you know, gotten better, and not only has our playing gotten better, our execution, we understand that we have a lot to lose, you know, at this point, and so I think it makes this fight a little harder.
And with the team, the explosive of passing game is them, there's always a chance you can get behind by a touchdown or two early first half or something. How much better suited do you think this group is to do what you guys, like what you did at Northwest? And I mean, what's the confidence level like offensively, and how well suited is this team to come back like you have this year so far?
Obviously, we've proven in a few games this year that we can come back from being behind, and of course the big one with Northwest when we were down 28-6, going in at halftime. But we're not always going to be able to get bailed out like that, and a couple big plays go the other way, and it's a different ball game. So we need to make sure that we stay on top of everything as best as possible. And yeah, I wouldn't get too worried if we got down, because I know we're capable of coming back and and winning the game. But at the same time, I definitely don't ever want to be down. So that's why I was stressing when Eddie asked, but I was stressing on making sure we start out early and early and often put up points.
Zach, Nick King from KODE TV. You talked about that you feel like you have so much more to lose. So does this feel different than the past few years at this point in the season?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, last year at this point we were either 3-4 or 4-3, whatever it was, and we were just hanging right around 500 the whole year, and it's not a good feeling, especially when you're having to put your time in at practice and your schoolwork's suffering from it a little bit, and you don't have much time, and it makes it. But now that you're 7-0, it makes it definitely worth it. Worth the time that you put into it, and like I said earlier, we have too much to lose at this point, and so there's no reason to give it all we have and fight harder than we ever have before.
We're joined now by sophomore linebacker Nate Dreiling. Nate will take questions from the group.
Nate, Eddie Lomchek with KKOW Radio. I asked Zach, and I'll start with you too. 7-0 is nice. Not that you don't have things you want to keep doing better, but how do you feel at this point in the season, just overall with where things are?
Obviously, we're somewhat pleased that we're undefeated right now, but at the same time, we know we can't get complacent. We haven't proved anything yet. We just won a couple more games than last year, but we need to stay focused and keep things going in the right direction.
This game, a very different type team, the way they throw it around. As a defensive player, what stands out about facing their offense? Yeah,
they got a lot of good skilled players, as they usually do. Quarterback's a real good player, and they had a couple nice receivers to throw to. So that makes it a little difficult defending them, but we need to go out and do our assignments, and hopefully it'll all work out.
As a linebacker, talk about the play of the guys up front this year and what difference that makes in your job.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. They've done a great job so far in pass rushing, and also just on run plays too, soaking up blockers and coming off making plays. They're doing a fantastic job, and it's nice having 8 or 9 of them that they can rotate, and they'll stay fresh, and hopefully all of them have legs for the long run. A couple more weeks.
Teams like this to defend, is it frustrating because sometimes 3rd and 10 doesn't bother them, and they'll get their share of those conversions? Yeah,
these teams, 3rd and long, is a little more natural for them than opposed to running teams. But we know we need to go out and do our assignments, and if we do so, then we should have a shot. But then once again, they have great athletes, so it'll come down to a lot of one-on-one plays, and hopefully we'll have the better end of it.
Nate Atkinson with the Joplin Globe. What's the key against a team like this? I mean, you guys, Northwest is able to throw the ball too, but what do you guys have to go in there with? What kind of mindset do you have to go in there with?
Usually it's run first, try to stop the run, but this team just real big on passing, and you can see why if you look at their talent. But we just need to contain him and see if we can get some pressure on the quarterback, see if we can get him right a little bit. If not, we can't let him sit in the pocket, and he'll pick us apart all day, as he's done to many teams so far this season. So we need to come out ready to play from the get-go.
Nick King from KODE TV. Zach was talking about just that it's such a different feeling at this point in the year than it would have been a year ago when you're 3-4 or something like that. I mean, is that something you can feel too?
I would say from the overall aspect of the team that everyone's a lot more focused. Obviously this year, last year, when you already lost 4 games, playoffs out of the line, you kind of have some drifters that get away from the pack. But this year's everyone's bought in right now. and that's probably the main difference. And we just need to stay focused and keep working hard.
Like Coach Ryan Atkins on the Joplin Globe, what is the mindset of the team this week? How's everything feel so far?
Well, we've had a good week of practice up to this point, and you know, it's nice for our players fall break to have Thursday and Friday off, and so you know, if we need a little bit of extra time, we can take it, and if we you know, if we don't have to worry about kids missing part of practice because of class and those type of things. So that's been a good thing. It comes at a good time for us, and you know, we're awfully excited about going to Central and playing.
With a team like this, with an offense like they have, do you go into the game feeling that you have a good chance to counter that with the type of offense you can take up there and kind of hit them in the mouth and run the ball?
Well, you hope so. You know, they're offensively, they throw it all over the place. They do a good job. You know, as you look at statistics, you don't think, well, they run it very good, but they do a good job running their draws and stuff at the right times. So they can really keep you off balance by throwing a draw in here or there and being able to go get a first down rushing the football. So for us offensively, it'll be important for us to you know, try to take care of the football the best we can, obviously, and you know, grinding some time off the clock will be an important part of the game.
Coach Beck, Nick King from KODE TV. I know last week a lot of the talk was about starting fast, and obviously you did that, but do you still feel like you need to do that against a stronger opponent to believe it?
Well, every possession in a game like this is going to be so important. You know, they offensively, they do so many different things to keep you off balance, and they do the same thing with their special teams. They do a really good job on their special teams keeping you off balance. So every play, every possession will be extremely important. Obviously, you'd like to get off to a great start in every game. You know, but our team has been in some situations where we've been behind and we haven't panicked. So you don't want to rely on that, but we also can use that as to understand that, hey, if we do get behind, we're going to come back here. And you know, I think the thing that we were most pleased about as a coaching staff is the fact that we've played hard whenever we're up by 21 or down by 21. So that's something that we've tried to get across from day one.
And Zac talked about, he kind of first brought up that just at this point in the season feels very different than last year or 2 years ago when things weren't going as well. Do you feel like you can see that in the players that a year ago you might have had people starting to lose a little bit of interest, and this year maybe not? You
know, one comment I made today was the fact that you know, I hope there's not anybody here that's satisfied being 7-0, and they're adamant about, you know, hey, what's happened up to this point's happened, and you know, this is a huge game for us. You know, if we go get the Central Missouri game, then we're coming back with 2 games at home. So you know, this is a very, very important. They have a very good football team, even though they've got 2 losses. Very good football team, and if we can find a way to go up there and win, it would be a great victory for us.
Coach Brennan speaking with KOAM. I was just looking at the numbers here. Central 116 in total defense, 127 in rush defenses. If you guys can kind of control the ball on offense, run it, keep their offense off the field, is that going to be a key for you guys? Yeah,
absolutely. You know, it'll be important for us. And their defense is deceiving because they really run to the ball really well. Central Missouri has always been one of the top teams in the conference as far as to the football, and they're no different than they've ever been. They're really, really fast, I think, on defense. Again, they know we're going to run the ball. We know we're going to run the ball. It's just, you know, you got to throw a wrinkle in here or there, and if we can control the clock, you know, that would just help our defense.
With their passing offense, how important is it for the front six to get pressure on them?
You know, we have allowed the fewest amount of sacks in the conference at 4. They're the next team in the conference they've only allowed 8, and they've thrown it so many more times than we have, which is really amazing. And they got most of those sacks were against Missouri Western early in the year. And they really haven't given up much since then. And I think a lot of it is, number one, their O-line does a good job of pass protection. Number two, the quarterback feels pressure, he's getting rid of it. And he's better than most quarterbacks that throw the ball this much. He's better than most quarterbacks you see because he can run. He'll get out and move, and he's smart. He'll slide or he'll run out of bounds. He's smart about it. He's smart about going and getting a first down and then taking care of himself.